live.
Hi everybody, happy Tuesday. Hope everybody is well and okay. What have we got going on today? We're going to obviously do a demo in a moment. Two things to let you know. Actually, the first thing is, so our daily deal is a weekly deal this week. Just to remind you, it's 10 half meters of fabric. Okay, so you've got 10 half meters. It's not necessarily this selection. It will be a random selection of fabrics, but you've got at least a white on a white and one white on white and one solid in there, and the rest will all be patterns. I just grabbed this one. We've done a few up, and this was the first one off the top of the pile. But it's 10 half meters, which is 5 meters of fabric, for £25. It is already selling. There are a limited amount of them. And we had quite a few go through yesterday, so grab that while you can if you fancy a bargain. The other thing that we've been doing, sorry, I'm really snuffly today and my eyes are playing up, so I'm very extra sniffy. You're gonna have to put up with me, my silly allergies. Beth has spent all morning, bless her, putting some Stylecraft bundles onto the website for us. So they're done in like colour themes. So if you're looking for like crochet projects or like blanket colours and stuff, they're all in separate bundles now. So this is just one. This is the sunset bundle. Okay, so you can see it's like the colours of the sunset, and all the bundles are 6 balls of wool. Okay. And it's all the Stylecraft Special DK, and they've all been sort of, collated to go together and work together. There's rainbow bundles, there's pastel bundles, there's blues, there's greens, there's all sorts. I just grabbed one of the bundles, which is the sunset one. But they're slightly reduced if you buy them as a bundle compared to if you bought them singly. So they're normally £2.25 a ball, but you can have 6 balls for £11.99. So you're basically getting 1 ball free. But yeah, have a little look at the website if you want looking for new. Excuse me, my phone's going off. Let me just silence that. Let's get rid of that. There we go. So those are new as well on the website. Just, if you've got a project in mind, if you're thinking, oh, I've seen this crochet blanket that I really want to do, or, something, that's a nice way of having all the colours done ready for you. Okay, so I think that's everything I've got to tell you. Zoom classes have started to fill up the last couple of days, so if there was something you wanted to do, grab a space while you can, okay, because some of them are almost sold out. I think one of them's only got 1 space left on them, but we've had quite a lot go through in the last couple of days. So if you do fancy joining us for a Zoom class, pop over to the website and have a little look. I think that's everything I've got to tell you. Yeah, so who's there? Who's coming to say hello today? I'm just going to grab a tissue, sorry, I'm all stuffly. You right there, Drew?
Yeah, the camera changed.
Oh, right.
Taryn, we got Nikki.
Hi, Taryn. Hi, Nikki.
Don't know if it was Sara or Cher, but Waikeko said, afternoon everyone, thank you for donating to the fundraiser for our friend Lindsay.
Oh, yeah, so you might have seen on our page, our darling Les passed away a couple of weeks ago, and we've started a Just Giving fundraising thing for her, for Marie Curie, because they didn't want flowers or anything like that. There was a request that there were no flowers or anything, so they wanted donations, so we've done a Just Giving page. So thank you ever so much everybody who's donated already. It's if you knew her and you'd like to help a little bit, the Just Giving link is on our page. But thank you so much everybody. We set a target last night and it's already well over the target, but yeah, thank you so much to anybody who's already donated. So, anybody else there?
We got Sonia, Wendy.
Hi Sonia, hi Wendy.
Catherine,
hi honey. Hi everybody, nice to see you all. So we're going to make one. It's really dark today. It's a real gloomy old day today. Very grey out there. I'm not happy bunny today. But we're going to make one of these little fabric baskets. Okay, they'd be brilliant for like little Easter baskets. You could make them and put a nice big Easter egg in there and some little bits and pieces as well, a bit like those bunny bags we made a couple of weeks ago. But if you wanted like a traditional Easter basket, however, they're also really good for storing fat quarters, because you can roll your fat quarters or lie them like that flat in there. If you've got like real pretty ones you just want to look at and stroke, you could keep all sorts. They'd be fab. I think somebody said yesterday it'd be great as a peg bag, because we're going to use bosal, so they're nice and sturdy, used as a peg bag. You could use them in the bathroom, for storing, cotton wool and flannels and stuff and all sorts. I've decorated them with this Suffolk puff, and I've done them in a linen texture with the new Deco Dance on the inside, one of the new Liberties, which are just delicious. I'm loving them. But yeah, just a nice little project, really nice and, well, not necessarily quick, but it's quite quick. It's it's an hour sort of project, to do start to finish. But I think they're a nice little make, and I like the fact with the bosal they're nice and sturdy. So I have done a template for you, which is on the website in the digital downloads. Okay, so there is a template for you. Drew, could you just pop that wool out of the way over there? There we go. Let's make some space, shall I? So I've done a little template, okay? You just need to cut out your template, and it says here you're going to place on the fold of your fabric. All right, so this time I'm going to do it in the Solanas, those beautiful flowery sunshine ones, which, they're the Moda. Here's Solana, all the different sunflowers and little ladybirds and stuff. So I've just placed this on the fold, so I've got them. You need about 1/3 of a metre of fabric, of 2 fabrics, and a little bit of bosal. Okay, you could probably get it out if you didn't want them the same back and front. You get them out of like fat 8s, fat quarters. But if you want it all to be the same on the front and then the same on the inside, you need 1/3 of a metre. I've folded it over like this. So, Drew, if you just want to come down here, folded it over, place my template on, and just cut round it so that I've got 2 outside pieces. Okay, and then I've done exactly the same for my lining. Okay, so folded my big piece of fabric in half, and then like that, and drew round, and then cut round it. Okay, so this is going to be my lining, and this is going to be my outer fabric. You also need a little rectangle of fabric, which is 4 by 6 inches. Okay, so you need that piece, which is 4 by 6 out of, it could be the matching one, or I'm going to do it in the lining, just to give it a little bit of contrast. Okay, so get all that little bit out of the way to start with, and we're just going to start with the outer fabrics, which are these 2. All right, and I've got 2 pieces of bosal, so this is also great for using up small pieces of bosal if you've got it, or any sort of foam stabilizer. It doesn't have to be particularly bosal. You could do them in wadding as well. You could do them in wadding. They wouldn't be quite as sturdy, but you could do them in wadding. All right, so I'm just gonna, oh, this is only just big enough. Now this bosal is fusible. Okay, so it's actually fusible both sides. So I'm going to be really careful when I iron this. I'm using up a little scrap that I had here, and I'm just going to iron that in place, and it should stick down quite nicely. Okay, I'm going to just do this all the way around. So while I'm ironing this in place on both pieces, talk to me please, my lovelies. How are you all? Anybody got anything interesting to tell me? Anybody doing anything? Who's there, Drew?
Suzanne says she does sunflower fabric.
Oh, I do. I love this. I really do. I was kind of careful when I was cutting it as well, so that sunflower sat right in the centre. Look, it's got a little ladybird. So there we go. That's that one fused on. And then I'm going to do the same with this one. If you haven't got fusible foam, you could just spray baste this. That would work as well. Okay. So let's just get this one on. Line it up. That's only just big enough. I was lucky with those pieces. There we go. I'll fuse this one. Anybody else there? Anybody else having a chat? No? No comments today? That's okay. Are you all there, or have you all left me? We've got to be careful because we're not sure how long the gimbal's going to last. I forgot to put it on charge last night, so if the camera suddenly goes like that to the side, Drew will take it out and just hold it and film. Okay, so there we go. You can see I'm just carefully, I'm trying not to touch the iron onto this bit because I don't want to get glue on the iron. I'm just carefully just fusing that on. All right, and now I need to cut these out. So I'm going to do it with scissors because I find it easier with curves than do it with a rotary cutter, and just follow the line of the fabric and get rid of any of that excess bosal like that. I'll just go up there, get rid of that little bit there, and then do this side. So just I find it easier to do it this way than having them the same shape and then having to try and line it all up, because, you know, fabric moves and stuff. So it's just easier this way. Make it a bit bigger, trim it down. So I'm just going to get rid of that excessy bit there. So nobody got anything to tell me today? Anybody up to anything interesting? Anybody doing anything?
Sarah said Linda's having connection issues. You looks like you're on elastic.
Looks like I'm on elastic.
What Sarah means about that?
Is that, can everybody else see me okay? Is it just the Wi-Fi, Linda's Wi-Fi, or is everybody else okay? Looks like I'm on elastic. What, like yeah, like being pushed and pulled? That's an odd expression. Yeah. Let us know, ladies. Is everybody else okay? Is everybody else still with us? Is it not running properly? Do we need to stop and start again?
Marion says she's okay.
Yeah.
So does Jean.
Cool. As long as some of you are getting me. It might just be Wi-Fi issues, I'm afraid, Lind. Okay. I'm going to cut round these ones here. Like that. Nearly there. And like this. And cut around that one there. Okay, so let's get rid of all these bits. Oh, I'm chucking it all over the place today. Pop that in the bin. So, over there. Next little thing you want to do as well now is just cut out. We're going to cut out some squares in these bottom corners. Alright, so I'm going to just use my ruler and I want to cut out a 2-inch square in each corner. So, I don't know why this, I think this, my sewing machine's been moved over. Let me just make myself some space. There we go. I'm not trying to work in a tiny, tiny little space. So I'm just going to line up my 2-inch line and my 2-inch line like that. Okay, and I'm just going to cut out a corner in both of 2-inch square in both of the bottom corners. Okay, around towards me. I'm going to go up there like that and across. And then you can just, because I didn't want to cut too far into the fabric, just snip that out. We're going to do the same on this one. Okay, so who's going to watch Sarah on Saturday? She's got her Chanda visit. She's got some really nice projects, actually. Really, really nice projects. There we go. That's that one. I'm going to do the same on the other one, okay? Anybody having a chat? We getting any comments through, or is it?
Rebecca says hi. Sorry, she's late.
Hi, Rebecca.
Cheryl says she's making a seahorse from some of her scrap fabric.
Ah, nice.
A bit of hand sewing, apparently.
Ah, lovely. That sounds cool. Remember, you can always pop pictures when you're done with stuff on the geckos page, which is because we do like to see things that you're doing. So we're going to pop these right sides together now, like this. Okay, just line it all up. And somewhere, I'll tell you what, everything's missing today. Where's that gone? There it is. I'm going to use my little clips, and because it's easier to use the clips with the bosal. Let's get that lined up. Just pop this down all together like this. Just line that up there.
Karen asked you sew bosal with a special needle.
No, just a standard universal needle is absolutely fine. It just sews like wadding. I've never had a problem with it. I just got a normal needle in there. Okay, so we're now going to stitch down the sides here and here and across the bottom. We're not going to stitch into these squares. Okay, you're going to leave these free. So just going to go down the side pieces and across the bottom. So I'm going to go over to the machine and get that out of the way. I'm not going to lengthen my stitch or anything. I am going to do a quarter of it, sort of a 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so not quite a quarter of an inch, just a little bit over on this one. So basically edge of foot. I'm going to go down that side like that. We've been busy finalising and cutting this morning as well, all the stuff for the one-day special that we're doing with the Chanda. So it's quite it's a busy old few days actually. So Sarah's got a Chanda on Saturday. believe 10 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, 10 o'clock in the morning. And then the following Friday and Saturday, we're doing a one-day special, which is 5 shows in 24 hours. So we'll be on I think it's 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock on the Friday. Can't remember the times now. It might be 6 and 8 on the Friday. It might be 4 and 6. I genuinely can't remember the times now. And then the following day, it's 8 a.m, 12 a.m, and 4 p.m. So yeah, it's we've got some really lovely stuff going on as well. So yeah, so that's all exciting, but it's a lot of work. Whew, it's a lot of organising. Right, okay, I've sewn down there and there, and you can see I've just used normal stitch length, normal needle, and it sews through fine. Okay, we're then going to box these corners. So I'm going to open this up where we've got those cutouts, like that. Okay, and I'm going to line up that bottom seam with that side seam. Okay, and I like to open up that seam as well with these. Because of the bulk that you've got there, this is also where these come in handy, because you can flatten that seam out brilliantly like that. And we're going to stitch again across here, just edge of foot, all right, about 3/8 of an inch. I'm going to do the same with this side, like that. And again, open these out like that. So if you've not used bosal, this is quite a nice, easy little project to do actually. So we're going to sew across there as well. All right, so I'm going to go back to the machine and whip across and sew this down. So, anybody else there having a chat? Anybody telling me anything interesting today? No?
So I think someone said the messages aren't coming through, but I don't know what's going on.
Messages aren't coming through?
I'm getting messages coming through. Susan just said I'm making a scrappy backing for Illusion table runner.
Ah, cool. Nice. Oh, is that the one that you did following the Saturday's tutorial? That was really lovely, Susie. That was the reds, wasn't it? It was gorgeous. Really, really nice. You did well. Okay, so we have now got something that looks a little bit like that. All right. You're going to leave this way round. Okay. So I'm just going to push out those corners a little bit like that. And we're going to leave that way round. Okay, you can see that you've got your basket shape coming. We're now going to do the lining. All right, so I'm just going to do exactly the same. I'm going to cut out the 2-inch squares. Now, a real quick cheat, if you leave it all folded like that, this is the bottom corner, you can cut them all in one. So I'm going to line up my 2.5 by 2.5 there. I'm going to cut it all in one.
Suzanne says it is.
Nice, well done. You look really good in those reds, Susie. You look really lovely. There we go. Okay, so we're going to repeat what we did with this one, but we're going to do the lining. Okay, and there's obviously no bosal on this either because it's just the lining. We'll put them right sides together like this.
Claire says she's patiently waiting for her Hermes delivery for her white cocoa.
Oh. Oh. There we go. So again, I'm going to... Yeah, sometimes if the parcels are too big, we have to send them by Hermes rather than Royal Mail. It's not necessarily weight, it's like size of parcel and stuff. So sometimes they have to go by Hermes. So again, we're going to stitch down the 2 sides and we're going to stitch along the bottom, but we're going to leave a gap. Okay, just grab a pen a second. And you want to leave about a 3-inch gap in the bottom. You know, be generous. So I like to mark it because if I don't, I just happily sew away. So I'm going to just sew along here and back stitch and then break my thread, back stitch along there, and then I'm going to box the corners exactly as we did the front. Okay, so I'm going to take this back over to the machine, get that out of the way. Oh, sorry, I meant to say, with the lining, you want to sew it at 1/2 inch. You want it to be a slightly bigger seam allowance, and we do that to give you a nice tight finish with the lining. So where we use 3/8 edge of foot, 3/8 of an inch with the outside, I'm going to sew this at 1/2 inch, which doesn't sound like it's much difference, but it really will make a difference when the lining sits in nice and tightly if it's just that teeny bit smaller. Okay, so I'm going to do this just a weeny bit smaller than I did before. And then we're going to go down this side. So anybody else, what are you all up to? Anybody reading anything interesting? Do it the bigger sign. Anybody watching anything interesting? What are you doing?
Irene says thank you to White Gecko for the raffle prize. Exciting, waiting for it to arrive.
Ah, fab. Yeah, it's all been packaged up for you and should be, well, it'll be going in the post today. It'll be going in the post today for you. We just missed yesterday's post after you'd rung for your fabrics. So it's all packaged up and waiting.
Vera asks, is it 2 or 2.5 for the corners?
2 inch. I do 2 inch. You can do 2.5, 2.5. You just get you get a slightly wider base. You know, you could do 1.5 and it would be taller and narrower. So, but I chose 2 inch for these. But you could absolutely do. You know, you can play around with them. You know, if you want them to be, you know, not as high and flatter on the bottom, do a bigger cutout, and that's what kind of spreads it out. There we go. Ooh. It's on a go-so today. It really is. Right, I'm just going to box those corners just the same way as I did the fronts. So again, I'm going to match that side seam and the back seam. And this time I'm just going to put the seams opposite ways, okay? Because I haven't got the bulk of the bosal. You don't need to do them open on this bit. But again, you're going to sew this at like a 1/2 inch seam allowance rather than a 3/8. Okay. So yeah, we are rewatching House again, but we've nearly finished the whole 8 seasons. So I need something new to watch in the evenings while I'm sewing or on the laptop. So anybody watched anything interesting? Anybody got anything on the go that they'd recommend? We've done. Avidly waiting for The Walking Dead to start back up again, aren't we, Drew?
Yes. End of this week.
It's only like, yeah, it's only beginning next week, I think it is, 1st of March. So, yeah. But yeah, I need something I can binge watch. Although, we're not sure we're going to have much time, are we? It looks like we're going to be reopening soon and stuff, or soonish and stuff, which would be good. So, there we go. So that's now my lining. You're going to turn this one right sides out. Okay, and push your fingers into those corners, turn it right sides out, push into the corners like that. Now we're going to drop this inside here so that you've got the fabrics right sides together. Okay, so you can see there that my fabrics are right sides together. And then we're going to line this up. So I would start by lining up the side seams, and again I like my clips for this, and again this side, do that side seam first. Okay. Any other questions there while I'm doing this little bit?
Said Firefly Lane was good.
Oh yes, you said about that, didn't you? Firefly Lane. Yeah, I don't think I can get Phil to watch that though. I think that needs to be when he's gone back to work, when he goes back up to London for work, because I don't think it's his cup of tea. I'm not sure I can get him to watch that. Okay, so you can see that I've done those two there and the top, and then I would start just putting a few in round the edges.
Jean's thinking of she's still knitting tiny hats for Age Scotland.
Oh right.
I don't know what that is.
Age Scotland.
Age Scotland, yeah.
Oh right, okay. Is that like a charity thing you're doing, Jean? You know, if you've got any like charity things, you know, that you think people might like to do, there's no reason you can't post them on the Gigglers page. You know, if you're knitting or, you know, doing something for Project Linus or something like that, you can always pop them on the Gigglers page and you know, see if anybody else wants to have a little look or have a little help out. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to stitch. We're not going to stitch across the tops here. Okay, so I'm going to start on this bit here. I'm going to go all the way around and up to here, but don't do the tops. All right, and then start here and go all the way around there. All right. So this is always fun because bosal isn't as squishy as fabric, so you've got to kind of get yourself lined up, and it's going to be in my face, and you've got to move it round carefully. All right, so I'm going to just gently use an edge of foot at this point, squish it round, take a few little stitches, reposition that curve. Okay, that's it, and sort of like as you're doing the curves, you know, do sort of 3 or 4 stitches, stop, reposition, keep going around the curves nice and gently. Okay, like that, and then bit fingers and thumbs this bit. Okay, let's get this round. Here we go. You could make these bigger or smaller, I suppose, as well. Once you've kind of played around with the one, there's nothing stopping you playing around with the sizings of these. You could make some little tiny diddy ones, you know, or much bigger ones. You know, I think this was like 6 inches by 12 inches by 6 inches, but you could do like, you know, 24 by 12 or something, and just scale up this pattern. Right, so that's one side done. And then I'm going to go down the other side, so it's just a little repeat of that, okay? So I've not come across here. Any other questions, comments there?
Linda says she's going back to knitting, giving sewing a rest.
Giving sewing rest for a little bit, are you, Hen? Is that just because you can't, you've lost your sewing mojo? You can't decide what you want to do? I know you mind you had one of those lovely, lovely jelly rolls, Mrs. What are you going to do with that? What are you going to treat yourself with that? Or is it not working for the project you had in mind? Okay, there we go. Down that way, nearly there, nearly all the way round. And then we're going to fight it through that hole in the bottom. Okay, all the way around. And up to there. Got it. Okie doke. So I can take all my clips off now. And now this is the fun bit where I've got to try and get it all through that gap in the bottom. So get your hand in there and pull it all through. Okay, so please do talk to me while I do this, because I'm going to be struggling for a few minutes to get all this through, because the bosal is brilliant because it stands up, but it does fight you a little bit. You've got to try and get it through without destroying the gap too much. Any questions there, Groups?
Linda said no, it's too big for a project, but it's so lovely anyway.
It is lovely, lovely, lovely that. I did like that Crystal Lane stuff that I was showing you yesterday. Oh, that came through much easier than I thought it was going to. Okay, so you also want to make sure you've got the handles through, like that. Where's that one? Here we go. Okay. Get your hands in there and really push out those boxed corners there. Get your fingers in there. And again, this side as well. Now, I would now at this point take this over to my big ironing board, okay, and give this a really, really good press. You want to kind of roll that seam, okay, and press it all in place nicely. All right, so I can probably do the handles on this little board, but I'm not gonna. You want to be able to get the ironing board over it, really. Okay. So
Jackie asked, will you keep doing your 1 o'clocks when the shop reopens?
Yeah, we will, lovely. I mean, once we're back to like fully open with classes and stuff, we might have to drop down the 1 o'clocks to maybe like 1 or 2 a week, but we will still keep doing it, because there's lots of you that can't visit us, you know, and can't actually come to the shop because you live too far away. You know, we've got people all over the world and stuff, and all over the country watching us. So yeah, we will still do some. They might not be 4 a week. It might be like we do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, or something. But we'll try and do as much as we can to fit in with, fit in with the shop as well. Once classes are back up and running. I mean, I can't imagine, even if the shop's going to be open for first, that they're going to let us do classes for a little while. But I think they were saying something like June or something before we'll be able to, you know, actually have like groups of people together. So you've got us for a little while, yeah, and we will keep going as well. We will keep doing at least some each week. It just might not be 4. We might not be able to physically fit it all in. Right. Oh, actually, that didn't work too badly on this little iron. It would have worked slightly better, I think, on the big iron. But that's now all the way through. Okay. Next little thing we want to do is just we're going to zigzag just across the top here, just to stop all that fraying. Okay. And then we're going to make the little handle piece to bring it all together. So I'm just going to zigzag very quickly across there. I'm not going to do it now, but I would also top stitch all the way round, okay? because of time element and everything. And if I show you on this one, I just top stitched, I don't know if you can get that, Joe, yeah, just top stitched all the way around the edge. That'll just help stop that lining fabric pop up, and it just gives it a nice finish. Okay, I would do it about 1/16 of an inch just along the edge and go all the way around. Like I said, I'm not going to do that now because you really don't need to see me do this. I'm just going to zigzag them. So I'm going to move my machine over to a zigzag, and I'm just going to zigzag these little edges just to stop any fraying at all. Okay, so I'm just going to go right over the edge and finish that off like that. Oh, I love this sunflower fabric. I think it's really lovely. Really, I love moda fabrics anyway. Actually, I just love fabric full stop. I'm not sure there's any I don't like. Well, no, there are. That's a lie. There are some that I've really not liked. But, right. Okay, you're going to put that aside for now. And this is where you now need that little rectangle that we did earlier. Whoop. So this was 4 by 6 inches, and I've got a little piece of bosal, which was 3 by 5. So this is like an inch bigger each way. I'm going to start just by fusing this on like that. So I don't know if you can see this. So I'm on the wrong side of the fabric. I'm just putting my little piece of bosal like that. Okay. And then I'm going to just iron down the the short ends. Okay. Be careful because there's glue on here on the bosal. So don't get it all over your iron. Just very carefully just iron down that edge, okay, like that, and then the same the other side, like that, okay, all the way down like that, okay. Then what we're going to do is, so this is going to end up being wrapped around the 2 edges. You've got the edges in there, okay. Now what we want to do is we want to, oh, doesn't want to fold, hang on, let me just put it onto that side. There we go, that'll stick. I'm going to put those 2 together and no, we're not. What am I doing? That way. I'm a stupid 5 minutes then. We're going to put that together like that. I was thinking, why is that not? That's not a tube. We're going to fold it in half lengthways, and you're going to stitch down there, like along the edge of the bosal. Okay, so this is your seam allowance, so that basically when we open it through, it's nice and flat. So we're going to stitch down all there, okay? So I'm going to just grab a couple of pins on the clips on the end of that. I was thinking, I've done something wrong, It was just because I'd folded it the wrong way. Oh, and also make sure you put it back on your straight stitch as well, because I very nearly zigzagged that. Okay, so I'm just going to sew along there, along the edge of that bosal. I discovered, I'm going to have to buy one, I think. I've discovered a new foot for my machine. You know, back ages ago when I was we made the candle wreaths back at Christmas. We made the candle wreaths, and they, it wouldn't sew the real thickness my machine was playing up. There's a foot for it. There's actually a foot for Brother do a foot called a thick thin foot, and it's actually designed for when you've got different thicknesses. I'm going to have to get myself one, I think. And then I want to pull these through. Okay, I've done this wrong. I have done this wrong because that's not going to be wide enough for that. What have I done? Sorry, ladies. 2 seconds. Let me just grab my unpicker. I was thinking, that's not right. That's not going to work. Did it the wrong way. I knew I had to go the short ends. Right, we're just going to unpick this a second. Here we go. So talk to me, ladies, please, while I'm unpicking, because I'm being an idiot and I've just sewn the wrong edge.
Mary says she loves your 1pms as she lives in Northants, although I live in Cornwall. Although in Cornwall, due to lockdown, I will go home when I can. Oh,
fab. That's what I did. I did this the wrong way. So I should have ironed the long edges down, not the short edges. That's what's confused me. It's because I haven't got my notebook with me, you see, because I made little notes on it. So, hang on. I'm just going to unpick that. We're going to iron the long edges down, and then it'll be the right shape. So, this was 4 by 6. This was 3 by 4. And sorry, I didn't answer that, Mary. Thank you. That's really nice that you watch. And I mean, I love Cornwall. Cornwall's a beautiful place to Beautiful part of the world, isn't it? But you're in Northampton, did you say? Northamptonshire, that would be.
I think so.
Yeah, fab. Oh, thank you for watching. It is appreciated. We do appreciate people watching. Okay, then we're going to do that. That's the right shape now. Idiot girl. And stitch down there. So you're going to fold over the long edges and then fold it and sew down the short edge. Having a stupid moment then, wasn't I?
Mary, do you sell No Doubt in the shop?
Do we sell what, sorry?
No Doubt, Nodal? If that's a spelling mistake.
Oh, I don't know if I know what that is, lovely. What is it? Let me know.
If it's a spelling mistake or something.
I should be right now. That's still not right. What have I done wrong here? I've done something wrong, ladies. I'm not sure what I've done. What I'll do is I will find I left my folder over the shop and I think I've cut the wrong size. So, yeah, that should be right because that should be that way. That's the right way. I've done something completely wrong here. Anyway, what I'll do is I will write the right measurements for this and I'll put a post on my Facebook thing. What have I done for that? Why is that not big enough? That is how you do it, because then those should slide into there like that. And then that one goes in there and then you just stitch down either side. I think I cut this, when I cut this earlier, I've cut this too small. And I left my book over at the shop and I can't remember what the measurements were. I'll put up a little post on, okay? But hopefully, sorry about this, being a bit useless. That would go in there like that. That one would go in there like that. Like that, okay? And then you would just top stitch down there and there to hold that in place. It's definitely not wide enough. I think it might, maybe it should have been 4.5 by 6.5. That would have worked. I might have cut 4 by 6 instead of 4.5 by 6.5. I'll check my measurements in my little pattern that I wrote in my book, and I'll put those measurements on for you, okay? But you get the idea, all right? You get the idea of that, okay? Top stitch that on, and that's your little basket done. You would then just need to ladder stitch in there just to close that up, okay? So I'm going to go and fix this because I've made a mess of this. Any other questions or comments there?
Mary meant bosal.
Bosal. Ah, yeah. We do bosal in the shop, yeah. We've got the single-sided one, which actually would be better for these than the double-sided stuff because it wouldn't stick to your ironing board. But yes, we have got bosal on our website, or you can give us a call and we can take orders over the phone. Okay. Any other questions there?
Jean and Linda says it looks lovely. But no
well, it would look lovely if I'd got the handle right, wouldn't it? I'll find the right measurements. But thank you. But I love this sunflower fabric. I think it's really bright and lovely. Yeah, you get the idea. Okay. Once this is on, this is wide enough. I think it should have been 4.5 by 6.5. That's ringing a bell now. And then that's done. And then all I did on this one was just did one of those Suffolk puffs from yesterday and put on. But actually, when it's a really bright fabric, big bold fabric like that, you don't necessarily need it, do you? I suppose you could, if you wanted to, you could top stitch along there, just like along the top, and that would pull it in a little bit. But actually, I quite like the flat handle for carrying. So there we go. There's my half-hearted handle attempt. Any questions or comments there?
Everyone says it looks nice. Taryn just says, how far into the handle did you push the bits?
Oh, not very far. About that much. What's that? About half an inch, 3/4 of an inch. You know, it depends on how big you want this opening. I mean, with this one, I can just feel it. It's there. That's the edge of the handle. So about half an inch, 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch in. Okay. So you literally just tuck that in like that. And just pop it in enough that you can, it's not going to pull out. And just put those clips back on, and then hopefully you can see here. So it's about there. I can just feel it. It's about there, and then I've just top stitched down. You could add some extra top stitching on down that as well if you wanted to, make it more like a ridged finish, which might be quite nice too. You could use decorative, instead of top stitch, you could have done a decorative stitch around there and done something really pretty. Any other questions there, love?
No, everyone says thank you.
No problem. I'll post this in a minute with the correct measurement of that handle. And I will see you tomorrow. And we've got a block tomorrow. and then Sarah's back on Thursday. So don't forget, we've got the daily deal running, although it's a weekly deal. And we've got all those new, for those knitters and crocheters out there, we've got those bundles of the Stylecraft Special DK on there as well. So yeah, and if there's no more questions, I will see you tomorrow, 1 o'clock for the block. I'll get the measurements right on the block. See you soon. Bye.